you might discover that you're gay. And if so, that's something to celebrate. Your authentic self deserves recognition and acceptance. But you might not be gay, and that's not a failing, even for a sissy or a submissive or, and this might surprise you, someone who loves sucking cock. Sounds strange, I know, but bear with me. You might realize that when it comes to reality, same-sex attraction just doesn't work for you, and that's okay too. Simply being curious about exploring different aspects of your sexuality doesn't label you or define who you are. Let me give you an example. Generally speaking, I find women much more attractive than men. I admire their hair and the soft contours of their bodies, and while I appreciate broad shoulders and rippling muscles on men, I'd honestly rather snuggle up to someone feminine. But here's the thing. I don't particularly enjoy eating pussy. I'm not opposed to it. It's not something I never do. But it doesn't really do anything for me. It really doesn't take long for me to list the number of pussies I've seen that I've been sexually attracted by the sight of. In my case, a woman with her legs spread or bent over in front of me can be attractive, but it's usually not because of her moist lips. Cocks, on the other hand. Well, I've seen lots of cocks I admire and want to play with, even if they were attached to men I wasn't particularly interested in. I like guys that stand there proud with erect cocks, and I like guys on their knees with locked clits. Cocks, for me, are just more attractive and more fun than pussies. And, just as an aside, it's not always the biggest cocks that I like the best, and I promise you that's true for most admirers. But I digress. Maybe it's the same for you. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe, like me, you find trans women to be the best of both worlds. Maybe you want a trans man, so you can enjoy a pussy coupled with a broad, flat chest. There's no right or wrong answer. Sexuality isn't binary. It's a spectrum, and it's not something we get a choice in. We're attracted to who we're attracted to, and the only difficulty is working out who that is. Even with all my years of exploring and playing, I'm still not entirely comfortable defining myself by a simple label. I suppose bisexual or pansexual are broadly accurate, but they are broad and don't really get into the details of who I am or what I like. But that's not something that causes me any great worry. Remember, curiosity isn't a diagnosis. It's an experiment. So allow yourself to explore, to question, and to embrace the fluidity of your desires. Whether you end up identifying as gay, straight, bisexual, or something else entirely, your worth and value remain unchanged. Let's talk about setting up a profile on Grindr. You've probably already dipped your toes into the online dating world, maybe on social media or other dating sites. There's nothing uncommon about that. Millions of people do it every day. And guess what? Grindr isn't much different. Just like those other platforms, Grindr is a space where you can connect with others, explore your interests, and maybe even find some common ground. Just think of it as another avenue to meet new people and expand your horizons. If you're a little nervous, I get it. Trying something new can feel intimidating, especially when it involves putting yourself out there in a different way. But here's the thing, you're in control. You don't have to reveal everything about yourself or lay out your entire life story. You set the pace. You decide what feels right for you. It's like walking into a new cafe. You can choose to sit back and observe, or strike up a conversation with someone who catches your eye. There's no pressure to perform or conform to anyone else's expectations. Your profile is your space to express yourself authentically, however you see fit. And hey, if you're worried about privacy, that's totally understandable. You have the power to adjust your settings and decide who you want to engage with. So as long as you're being sensible, and you will be sensible for me, that's not something you have to worry about. So let's normalize this experience. Setting up a profile on Grindr is just another step in your journey of self-discovery and connection. Embrace the opportunity to explore, learn, and maybe even surprise yourself along the way. Let's delve into the idea of setting up your Grindr profile in a way that feels uniquely you. Think about it. Just like you curate your social media feeds or tweak your dating profiles to reflect your personality, Grindr's no different. It's your canvas to paint with the colors of your own identity. You're not just another face in the crowd. You're you, with your own wonderful quirks, interests, and desires. And just as I celebrate them, so too will someone else out there. Probably more than one person, if we're being honest. Your profile is your chance to showcase what makes you, well, you, and reap the rewards of that. Maybe you're an introvert who prefers deep conversations over small talk, or perhaps you're an extrovert who thrives on meeting new people and making connections. Whatever your style, there's room for it on Grindr. And let's talk boundaries. You don't have to share every detail of your life or lay bare your innermost thoughts. You get to decide what you're comfortable with, what feels right for you. Maybe you're open to meeting new friends, exploring new interests, or even diving into something more intimate. It's all about finding what resonates with you. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to setting up your Grindr profile. It's about personalization, about making it uniquely yours. So, go ahead, add a splash of your favorite hobbies, sprinkle in a dash of your sense of humor, and let your authenticity shine through. At the end of the day, your profile is a reflection of who you are, imperfect, complex, and wonderfully human. Embrace it, own it, and enjoy the journey of connecting with others who appreciate you for exactly who you are. Setting clear boundaries is key to feeling safe and comfortable in any social setting, and Grindr is no exception. You have the power to decide who you engage with, what kind of interactions you're open to, and when you want to take things offline. Trust your instincts and listen to your gut. If something doesn't feel right, you have every right to hit the brakes. And hey, let's not forget about consent. Consent is the cornerstone of any healthy interaction, online or offline. You have the right to set your own pace, express your desires, and withdraw consent at any time. Don't let anyone pressure you into doing something you're not comfortable with. Lastly, let's talk about safety. Grindr has built-in safety features designed to protect your well-being, from reporting and blocking options to location masking. But remember, your safety is ultimately in your hands. Use common sense, trust your instincts, and take precautions when meeting new people in person. If ever you're unsure about something, consider what I would say if I were looking over your shoulder. Of course, I want you to explore this aspect of yourself. And skipping ahead some, I'd like you to experience the pleasure of being fucked It could genuinely change your life for the better. But I don't want you to be stupid or unsafe. So anytime you start doing something that you think I'd regard that way, you'll stop yourself because you don't want to disappoint me. Ultimately, this is about finding the balance that works for you. Privacy, control, and safety are your allies on this journey, empowering you to navigate the world of Grindr with confidence and peace of mind. You're not just a passive participant in this journey. You're the protagonist, the hero of your own story. Your Grindr profile is your platform to express yourself authentically, to showcase what makes you unique, and to experience physical pleasure from others who appreciate you for exactly who you are. But empowerment goes beyond just creating a profile. It's about owning your worth, setting boundaries, and advocating for yourself every step of the way. It's about recognizing that you have the right to define your own path, to explore your desires, and to pursue connections that bring you joy and fulfillment. So go ahead, embrace the opportunity that Grindr offers. Use it as a tool for self-discovery, for expanding your horizons, and for building meaningful connections with others who share your interests and values. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. You have a support system in place, whether it's friends, family, or even just me, who are here to cheer you on, to offer guidance, and to celebrate your victories along the way. One of the main reasons I do what I do is to help people like you. I mean, yes, I get my own erotic thrills from controlling people and making them submit to me. But that's not what this session is about. Although, to be honest, I'm not at all opposed to you sharing a screenshot of your profile with me, and knowing you've done it with my help will get me a little wet. Hey, maybe if it helps, you might write something like, "My mistress made me do this." That could be fun. I mean, I'm not making you do this. This is your choice. But there's a reason you've watched so many forced buy clips. So maybe it will make it easier to believe that I'm making you do this. Maybe it will be fun to write, "My mistress made me do this." Maybe it will be a good excuse. "My mistress made me do this." I take pride in supporting you, in helping you accept who you are, and presenting yourself as the best version of you. That's what my help and my community's all about. That's what this is all about. You being free to be the person you truly are and enjoying that. So just do it. Step into your power and let your light shine bright. The world is waiting for you to show up as your authentic self, and Grindr is just one of the many avenues through which you can do that. You've got this. Before that, though, let's take a moment to validate your feelings and concerns about setting up a Grindr profile, because I know, as excited as you are right now, there are going to be doubts when you're awake. It's completely normal to feel a mix of emotions: excitement, nervousness, curiosity, maybe even a bit of apprehension. But whatever you're feeling, know that your emotions are valid and worthy of acknowledgement. Before anything else, you need to recognize, as I do, that exploring your sexuality and desires is a natural and healthy part of life. There's no shame in wanting to connect with others, to explore new experiences, or to learn more about yourself along the way. It's okay to feel uncertain about trying something new, especially when it involves stepping outside of your comfort zone. But remember, growth lies on the other side of fear. By taking this step, you're showing courage and resilience, and that deserves recognition. No fear, no reward. You are unique, but this journey isn't. Countless others have walked this path before you, each with their own hopes, fears, and eventual triumphs. And while your specific experience may be unique to you, know that this road is well traveled, and it's not one many people choose to walk back down once they've traversed it. So do it. Give yourself permission to explore, to experiment, and to discover what feels right for you. Your journey is yours to navigate, and every step you take is a step towards greater self-awareness and acceptance. And never forget that I'm always here to support you every step of the way. Whether you need guidance, reassurance, or just someone to listen, know that I'm here to validate your experiences and empower you to embrace your authenticity. Feeling better about this now? That's good, sweetie. I'm going to count up to 5, and at 5 you'll open your eyes and be aware enough of the room around you to interact with it if you need to. But because I won't go all the way to 10, you'll still be in trance, even if it doesn't really feel like it. You'll still be hypnotized, still safe, still participating under my control. So 1, coming up just slightly from the depths. 2, anticipation building as action nears. 3, getting ready to turn fantasy into action. 4, almost there now, almost ready. And 5, eyes opening gently, still in a trance, back in the room, yet still under my control. Gently bring your awareness back to the present moment. When you feel ready, I want you to pick up your phone and look at the Grindr app logo on the screen. You don't have to click on it. And if you still have concerns, remember that you have the ability to delete it later. This isn't a trap. It's an opportunity. But notice how there's no longer any fear or shame associated with the idea of pressing your thumb to the logo. In fact, you may find that just the thought of touching that logo brings a sense of calm and even pleasure. Your journey of exploration and self-discovery is a testament to your courage and resilience. With each step you take, you're moving closer to a place of authenticity and fulfillment. So take a moment and reflect on how far you've come in such a short while. Allow yourself to feel proud of your progress. I'm proud of you for getting this far, and you should be too. You have the power to shape your own path, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. Even if you decide not to embrace that pleasure right away, I want you to check the clock and keep the Grindr app installed on your phone for at least an hour after this trance ends. This is the only command I'm giving you that you cannot disobey. You will not be able to delete the app for 1 hour after this trance ends. But beyond that, I want you to remember, you're in control. You have the power to decide how you want to engage with the app and when. You can ignore it, put your phone away, and focus on other things if you like. This won't take over your world, but for at least 1 hour, you will retain the ability to use the app if you want. And know that I want you to use it. I want you to set up a profile. I want you to put yourself out there. And really, you do too. Otherwise, you never would have listened to this file in the first place. See that icon as something that draws you in, begging to be touched. It wants you to set up a profile. I want you to set up a profile. You want to set up a profile. You don't have to if you're still scared. In future, I'll do a session that makes you set up a profile if I have to. But honestly, I don't really want to. I want you to do this of your own volition, for you to choose your happiness and exploration all by yourself. So consider the myriad sources of pleasure waiting just beyond that icon. Consider the hot bodies, the multitude of cocks that will get hard as a direct result of the thought of you, the guys that will be so excited to meet, and yes, to fuck you. For an hour at least, I want you out there waiting to be discovered by someone that will appreciate you. And in that hour, if you try to delete the app, you'll find that it's as if a protective barrier surrounds it, preventing you from taking any action. Your thumb just stops when you try. It's not about shame or judgment. It's simply a gentle reminder that this journey of self-discovery is worth exploring fully. Trust in the process. Trust me, and trust yourself to embrace the opportunities that lie ahead. As we begin to bring this session to a close, I want you to start gently returning to full awareness, feeling refreshed and invigorated by the experience. You've taken an important step today, one that reflects your courage and commitment to your own growth and well-being. I want you to remember how much you've enjoyed listening to me today, knowing that this level of support and guidance is something you can't find just anywhere. I'm not shaming you or whoring you out like you're worthless. I'm supporting you in discovering the wonderful entirety of who you are and what you like. Take a moment to appreciate the unique connection we've shared in this session and recognize the value of having someone like me in your corner, supporting you every step of the way. As you come back to full awareness, I encourage you to express your gratitude in whatever way feels best to you. Whether it's simply acknowledging the impact of our session together or reaching out with a word of thanks, know that your appreciation is deeply valued by me. So, 6. Recognizing that you've already done something positive and brave. 7. Thoughts becoming clearer and more lucid. 8. Beginning to exit trance and stand tall as the authentic person you really are. 9. Knowing that this is an opportunity to be embraced. And 10. Wide awake, totally in control, fully aware of who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. I hope that right now you're feeling good and secured in who you are. Hopefully, you're eager to take it to the next step, to set up that profile. You don't even have to talk to anyone if you don't want. But setting up that profile is a big and honestly very cool step that I wholeheartedly encourage you to take. But if you're still not sure about that, it's okay. You don't have to sprint to the finish line just yet. You can just leave it there for the next hour. And you will leave it on your phone for the next hour. And know that every passing minute is a victory, one that you've earned for yourself. I only helped you along. So, as you go about your day, carry with you the sense of empowerment and possibility that you've experienced here today. Know that you have the strength and resilience to overcome any challenges that come your way, and that I'll always be here to support you in your journey of self-discovery and growth. And in an hour's time, when trance has long passed and nothing bad has happened, you might choose not to delete it at all. I mean, why close the door now? What would be the point? What good would that bring? That's up to you, pet. For now, just enjoy the next hour. And if you're ready, start that profile.